welcome back. I am the Dead Man, and tonight's story takes you to haunted places in Indiana. The haunted bridge in Avon, Indiana has multiple legends and stories attached to it. The haunted bridge is believed to have been built somewhere around 1906, although some say construction started as far back as the 1850s. One of the most famous stories associated with the bridge is that of the construction worker Henry Johnson. It is believed while working he fell into a vat of cement where he perished. Some stories suggest his co-workers heard him, while others say his body was not discovered until the next day. Another story claims a young mother was on her way to take her infant to the doctor when she became trapped. Her only option was to jump off the bridge with her infant to save their lives. The woman survived, but the child did not. The young mother eventually died a few weeks later. Visitors to the bridge claim to hear screaming and seeing what they believe is the ghost of the young mother walking around the bridge. The Willard Library opened in Evansville, Indiana back in 1885. Stories of sightings and other paranormal activity did not start to get reported until 1936. When a maintenance worker told his employers he was quitting, he informed them it was not because of the job itself. It was because he saw what he referred to as the Gray Lady. According to the worker, she appeared to be dressed in garb very similar to when the library first opened. Who the Gray Lady could be remains a mystery. What does not remain a mystery are the sightings, as she has been caught on camera on more than one occasion. There have been claims of cold spots in certain areas of the library, as well as people smelling perfume that is not from anyone present. The Gray Lady herself has been seen in the basement, near the elevator, and also the restrooms. Back in 1851, the quaint little town of Story was founded by Dr. George Story. The town was comprised of the Story Inn, a schoolhouse, 2 general stores, a sawmill, a post office, church, and a couple of additional buildings. Up until the Great Depression, the small town flourished. The town of Story sat abandoned for decades. Eventually, preservationists decided to bring the town back to life. The structures in the town were repaired, but their uniqueness and original state were for the most part left intact. The Story Inn is one structure in the town that was restored to what it once was back in its heyday. Each of the rooms and cottages in the inn is free of radios, televisions, and clocks, which the owners consider modern-day distractions. The rooms and cottages have some modern features, electricity and running water, but their furnishings are very 19th-century American Midwest. The rustic looks and history are not all the Story Inn possesses. There are also stories of paranormal activity. Countless staff members and guests have made claims of seeing the Blue Lady. It is said the Blue Lady is Dr. George Story's wife. The former garden room is now named after the Blue Lady. People wishing to engage with or see the Blue Lady are told they can turn on the blue light in the room and she will appear. People have claimed she has left behind blue objects, that she has blue eyes, and they can smell cherry tobacco, the Blue Lady's favorite when she was among the living. The Nicholson house is a Gothic mansion that dates back to the 1870s. David Nicholson was working in Indianapolis on the Marion County Courthouse when he started construction on his own home. The mansion was completed and around 1903 ownership changed hands. The Rand family became the official owners of the property until the 1960s. No paranormal activity in the house had ever been recorded until 1997. After being abandoned for years, the Nicholson house was being moved to another location to help preserve the structure. During the move, a photograph was taken which appeared to show a ghost looking out one of the upstairs windows. Once this story broke, additional stories of unusual activity in the house started spreading. One story states that the house is haunted by a young girl killed close to the home. Another story states a man hung himself when the structure was a boarding house. There are also stories that a woman haunts the house. Some of the most shocking stories related to the house involve the story that the Nicholson house served as a stop on the Underground Railroad. People have claimed to see blood dripping through the walls, while others claim to have smelled decaying flesh. There is also a tale of slaves burning to death in the basement. According to locals, the French Lick Springs Hotel Resort is haunted by its former owner, Mr. Thomas Taggart. He apparently hangs out near the service elevator and is usually accompanied by the smell of tobacco. Some say that when the hotel is particularly busy, he will help out by operating the service elevator. There are also a handful of reports that he has appeared in the ballroom riding a horse. He is by no means the only spirit that has taken up permanent residence here. Housekeeping staff say that in one particular room, there is a red stain that keeps appearing in the bathtub where a jilted bride committed suicide. The staff also say that the entire 6th floor of the building seems to be rife with strange shadows, cold spots, sudden rushes of air, phantom footsteps, and disembodied laughter. The front desk also says they frequently receive strange calls from rooms that they know are unoccupied. The Canyon Inn is one of the most haunted places in Indiana, and there is a rumor that before it became a hotel, the building served as an insane asylum. That would certainly tie in with the type of paranormal activity that is often reported by guests who stay here. Visitors often complain that they have been woken during the night by disembodied screaming. Other guests say they have heard phantom footsteps and the sound of someone crying even when there is nobody nearby. In Brazil, Indiana is the 100-step cemetery. Headstones in the cemetery date back to the 1860s. Over the years, a legend developed. The legend states that on a completely dark night, if you climb all the steps and reach 100, when you get to the top, you are supposed to see a ghost. This ghost is then supposed to cause you to have a vision of when you are to die. If you turn around and walk to the bottom and count 100 steps once again, you will not die as shown in the vision. If you do not reach 100, you will die as predicted. The ghost is believed to be the cemetery's first undertaker. Further stories state that if you do not walk on the stairs, and choose to go down on the grass, an hand will push you down and a red handprint will stay on your body for a few days. The handprint is believed to be the mark of the devil. I want to thank you for watching. And until then, good night.